Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Myth Understood. I'm back, and so
yes, you are.
And so is Sarah, and we're really excited to reveal the next mythology that we are studying.
Can I get a drum roll?
Wow, that was really good. We're really good at drum rolls.
Yeah.
It is Norse.
Norse mythology. What? Yes, you guys requested it a lot. I think it is the first most requested, and then there's more to come after this. So if we didn't pick out your favorite mythology, don't be angry. We will get to it.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to dive in with this new chapter for Myth Understood. It is Norse, of course. So,
and there's no Trojan horse.
Not that I know of.
So, Paul, the last 5 weeks that we were in Alaska together, you were putting together this amazing plan about Norse mythology, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. That whole time we were in Alaska, I lost countless hours of sleep studying, reading, doing so much work on my book that is being put out on Wattpad right now.
On Wattpad, everyone can check out your new book.
Yeah. I'm
awesome.
working on this book called High Water and Glass.
So you did nothing?
No, I'm really embarrassed. I don't have anything prepared.
Pull over the car.
All right.
Get out.
All right. How far should I walk?
Give me the keys.
Wait.
Get in the passenger seat.
What?
Buckle up. Steer for me, because I'm drunk, baby. But yeah, I'm driving this car. I'm teaching Norse mythology, y'all.
When it comes to Norse mythology, they are not adept. But Sarah, she will research, and Paul, he must accept. Yggdrasil is a glorious word, crush a whole mountain. Well, Thor's hammer could. These fables are bizarre, but good. It's misunderstood.
Wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is a new original song by Zinzinit. That is so good. This is our first time hearing it.
That's really epic. Like, I feel like I need to listen to it again. I feel like I need a lighter, and to be in the audience, I need to tear off my bra and throw it towards Zen.
Wow. Oh my god, that was like melt your face good.
That was really good.
We don't deserve that.
No, let's just go home.
Wow.
Wow. So, yeah, in case you are wondering, this was authentically the first time that we heard this, and that was incredible.
Yeah, and where can people see a video of us experiencing it for the first time?
Oh, well, that would have to be on our brand new Patreon. Yeah, we will be launching our Patreon at the end of this week, and we'll be posting this video, and anyone can watch it just to give you a taste of some of the extra things that we'll be offering on our Patreon. We would really appreciate you giving what you can to keep this really fun podcast going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, welcome back to Myth Understood. I'm Paul Bianchi, and she is Sarah Oliver.
I am.
And you can, as usual, find us on social media at The Paul Bianchi and The Sarah Oliver. And you can follow this show specifically at _Myth Understood.
Yes. Follow us. Stalk us.
So
engage with us.
Yeah.
Get engaged to us.
Get engaged to us. We will marry any and all comers.
We've been double proposed before.
Yeah.
And we've thought about it.
We've doubly said, oh, maybe. Good. We ate them.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, you're going to be teaching me Norse mythology, which is really exciting.
Yes, and as Zen laid out in the new theme song, I'm researching. So I am learning it as I go, which the exciting part of this means I'll actually learn this time. Because when
you did learn, though.
No, I didn't learn shit.
We quizzed you.
All right.
And you knew answers.
Nope. Nope. So I'll actually, this stuff will probably stick with me. Maybe, I don't know. This notebook I'm writing in, though, is from college, and I didn't remember any of the stuff in there.
No, you. That's why you grabbed that notebook. You were like, oh, I have room to write these notes. Oh, wait, there's notes from college.
There's notes
already.
from college here, yeah. So I'm not allowed to buy new notebooks until I use the ones I have, is what I've told myself.
Wow. You're very cruel to yourself.
Because I have like an addiction. But yeah, I will be researching as I go. I'm going to be, so if you guys want to reach out and tell me, oh, there's this other little fun fact about whatever the topic was of the week, feel free to. If you want to yell at me about pronunciation, well, I'm figuring it out as I go.
Yeah, I feel like you have a much more difficult job than I did with some of these names.
Well,
there's a lot of consonants, right?
Here's why it's going to come easy to me. I'm not kidding. On my 23andMe results, it said I had Viking DNA, like hardcore.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something real, like I played a lot of Skyrim.
Oh, well, that too, yeah. Rudo. What's that? What's that?
You Fusrodad and a gust of wind.
That was
went
crazy.
Across the room.
Yeah, Fusrodad. Which is the effect you want. So there you go.
That's great.
Yeah. My whole family history is like Viking. I mean, my dad's 6'9", so just big, tall warriors.
I forgot that was your dad's occupation, was a warrior.
Yeah, he was a Viking.
Wow.
And so before I get into what I have so bizarrely laid out, and I showed Paul my notes, and I think he threw up a little.
My eyes rolled back into my head.
Yeah.
And ice cream came out of my ears.
I can't organize things normal. I do it like rock and roll, baby. So these notes are all over the place. Well, because I was also using like 3 different books at a time. So, this thing that I learned about Viking, and then later this other thing pertains to the other thing. So I might
also
be
feel
very...
like your college notes are going to be mixed in. So all of a sudden you'll be talking about math equations.
This notebook has the Lean Pocket grocery list that I told you about this morning.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, Sarah thought at one point in her life that if you eat Lean Pockets, they're good for you. Like it's a diet.
That's a diet.
Yeah.
Like,
I can treat myself now.
Yeah. I deserve an ice cream because I ate a Lean Pocket. Skinny little thing.
This episode brought to you by Lean Pockets.
I'll gladly, please, if anyone out there is in the Lean Pocket world, let us advertise for you.
Uh-huh.
So tell me what you know about Norse mythology.
Oh, I know so little about Norse mythology. However, and I say that, but I probably know more than I would assume the average person, because since I did have a general knowledge or a general interest in mythology growing up, like in Edith Hamilton's mythology, there's a section on Norse mythology. I was just not drawn to it the same way I was with Greek. Yeah. So the things I think I know the names of 5 gods.
Okay.
I know that there is Odin.
Yes.
And I know that there is Zeus. And I know that there is Thor and Loki. And then there's I feel like either her name changes or there's 2 that have very similar names. There's like Freya or Frigg. Or if they're like,
there's like 3 goddesses with very similar names.
Yeah. And I know that our days of the week are named after Zeus, Odin, Thor, and Freya.
Freya Day.
Yeah, like that. All those are our 4 Norse days of the week. I know that there's a tree of life. I know that there is...
You don't know shit about this tree.
I know that there is I think there's like a serpent that encompasses the entire world.
Yeah, which is so cool. It's in my notes, so I'll probably repeat it. But they were not flat earthers. They're like, yeah, that world sure is a sphere.
I like you say that as if the Greeks were.
Were they not? Prove it.
I guess I can't.
Right.
But and then the last thing I know is that the end of the world is called Ragnarok.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff is, if anyone's watching the Marvel movies, it's lightly treaded upon.
Oh, I guess I know a 6th god then, because Hela is also from actual Norse mythology, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she hella tight.
She's she just goes by Hel.
Uh-huh.
Hel. But yeah.
Okay.
It's like, just call me Hel. Go to hell. is literally a thing the gods say. So I think that's how that happened for us.
Oh, probably, yeah.
She was rolling down there, chilling. Yeah, we'll get to her. She's cool.
Oh, and there's another thing that I know too that like the Marvel movies messed up is that and also Marvel Comics I guess is that Thor I believe was explicitly written as a redhead all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Mm-hmm. But they just had to make him blonde hair, blue eyed.
No, and they ruined him, and that's why when I reboot all the Marvel movies, you're playing Thor.
Oh, great.
So start working out
I
now.
Well, I feel like I should have like a big gut.
Oh, like the new Marvel movies?
No, I just mean like when I think of like a big like robust Viking man, like he's got like a big
strong arms, but
strong arms, but a big gut.
Okay, yeah. So that troll, that Anya.
Yeah, we're dipping into Buffy again already.
We're back. Yeah, he. Well, I guess I can just say this. Thor is also known to just be able to fucking eat forever. So I think that's a good assumption that he has a big gut.
Oh yeah. Okay. So then I guess I know a little bit more then too. I know that like, I forgot what it's called right now. Valhalla. With where all the heroes go and feast. And then and of course there's the legend of the Valkyrie warriors too. But I know very little about them aside from that they're always depicted as being very pretty.
Well, yeah. But show me where in Greek mythology there's some hot ass warrior women.
We talked about Atalanta.
Mm-hmm.
She turned into a lion. She died. It was cool.
Tell me what you know about Vikings and Scandinavian people.
That they are also in my family history.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Leif Erikson. They had
who?
Leif Erikson. He's one of the most famous Vikings.
Oh, okay. Not someone that you're related to.
No.
Okay.
He went to America before British people went to America.
Yeah, and then the Native Americans kicked their asses. That's the movie I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that they seem to rape a bunch in the UK.
I mean, not a bunch. It's just how most of the islands were created.
Yeah. Their boats had dragons on them, or maybe they didn't. Maybe that was like I feel like I've read something about that.
Mine did.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Norse mythology in general has been, fireside stories for about over 2,000 years. And they were the Vikings, the Scandinavians. They were a race of people that lived in cold, horrible areas. And so they were just chilling by the fire and spitting some shit.
I bet that's where I got in. So there's a weird thing about redheads that we our body creates its own vitamin D, and so we don't need the sun. And I bet the Vikings were like that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it was like, it was Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, and Finland. But also so wait, let me go to this area right here. So, Germanic was anything that Julius Caesar, it was a Julius Caesar term, anything that wasn't Central European. So it was like those Germanic people.
Okay.
So he created that idea. That anything that wasn't like the Celts. And so it was like the Danes, Iceland, and all those people. And they became North Germanic, aka Scandinavians. And the myths of North gods remain pretty similar, even though it was basically that whole grouping of people.
Okay.
Because really, to be Scandinavian or to be a Viking, you were just traveling through those areas, sort of back and forth, pillaging and, like you're saying, abruptly populating.
Oh yeah. That reminds me. So it's Bisexual Awareness Week, and I saw this post from HBO that was a line from Game of Thrones where that character from the Iron Islands. She's a sailor, and she's like has a whole bunch of people in different ports. She's like the woman she's talking to is like, oh, so you have got a boy in every port, and she's like, or a girl depending on the port. So
that's what they were doing.
That's what they were doing.
They were porting and they were spreading bisexual awareness.
Those Vikings were ahead of their time.
They actually were.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and they were also horrible in a lot of ways. But so they existed. There was an actual Viking age, which I wrote down somewhere, and they kind of steered clear up until Christianity was like super, super big. They kind of get to do their own thing for a long time.
Sure.
Because they were living in pretty like not desirable places.
Yeah, no one wanted to go up there.
Yeah.
Everyone was like fighting over the Mediterranean.
So their timeline goes back to the Bronze Age of 1500 to 500 BC. And then the big Viking party occurred when the Romans fucked off around 200 AD. That's when they were like, oh yeah.
They had a big party?
We just get to be Vikings so hard right now because these people that are trying to conquer everything have left. So now it's our turn to swoop back in and be major dicks.
Oh, I forgot that that song, na 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 hey hey goodbye. Like that was written by the Vikings.
Oh, it was written by the Vikings too.
about the about the Romans leaving.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
it was, and it was So it was recorded back then too.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Again, ahead of their time, guys.
Ahead of their time on a CD.
Oh wow.
So behind their time now.
Yeah.
So they fucked off around 200 AD, and then Vikings were just thriving up until seriously 1100 AD. So they had a good run of things.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when Christianity came, and they're like, could you not? Let's see. They did do some sacrifice to the gods, just a little. But it's
the Greeks did
just
too.
like a smidgen. They actually have a few like times of the year. There's like months that they would do it, and it was like a big party.
Yeah, it seems like they liked a big party.
Yeah, they just love party. October, January,
Inga.
April.
Inga, come slit this goat's throat with me.
Oh my God, girl, you're wild.
This is gonna be fun. Oh, all over my clothes. All over my clothes.
Don't worry. Do a shot off my belly button. So I'll figure out this Scandinavian accent soon. Don't worry. We'll get there. All right. So so their archaeological footprint. You see how I'm learning to be like you, to be like, I had a train of thought. Oh, let's play. Okay, back to my train of thought.
Yeah,
Now I understand the punishment. So their archaeological trace is pretty thin because they were like hanging out on islands and groves. And so they have a few things that they left behind, but not so much. They appeared in old Viking carvings. And they were on
Vikings appeared in old Viking carvings.
No,
Okay.
Their history, their mythology.
Uh-huh.
And there are two written sources. We have the Poetic or Elder Edda, and the Prose Edda, and the latter containing the more famous story.
How's Edda spelled?
Edda.
Okay.
Edda. And those were written obviously hundreds of years after they were passed around too. So, which explains why like there are different variations. Like some German mythology has Odin, but he's got a pretty different job title. But it's during that time where everyone was running around. So
he was like either like king of the gods or office PA.
Yes.
Okay.
There's only he either failed up or fell down. Cause Odin, no, we'll get to him later. God damn it. Don't get me ahead.
Okay.
So there's 38 poems, anonymous poems in Poetic Edda, but a dude named Snorn Starlson wrote
I'm sorry.
some of the more famous stories in sometime in the late 11th or 12th century. Yeah.
I feel like people had a problem with him. Snorn Starlson, what are you doing in these parts?
Oh, I'm just writing all of these stories that my family has told me of fire.
take a weapon and kill something.
No,
We're sacrificing over here.
no, these stories have been shared for millennia. I must write them down. No one's ever written them
No
down.
one
It's
will
just-
care.
What
No
the-
one will care. It's not like someone will one day do a podcast and talk about what you wrote down.
Wait, how do you know about podcasts? You're so ahead of time.
I know.
Is it what you put on CD? So Julius Caesar.
You just have a page that's like it says Julius Caesar all over the place, and it's like hearts are drawn
Yeah,
around it.
yeah. He's a big crush of mine. A big celebrity crush. So I have some Viking fun facts.
Okay.
All right. They decorated their helmets with horns and stuff to give them magical protection,
Go on.
which
Like,
is
what-
great because they didn't wear a lot of armor. So they're like, yeah, this is going to help me in battle.
But why? Like, were they like we like goats? Like, were they like they're things that have horns that we feel like are magical and thus we will be like them? Or
No, and some of them were, like horns coming out, and some of them had plates of actual like pictures of the gods on it too. Like Odin will watch over me, or Thor will help a brother out. But this isn't the worst of how they went into battle.
I think that if I was an ancient Viking and I had a horn helmet, I'd want my horns to be hollow, and I'd want to fill them with booze, and then like break them off, and it'd be like the original like beer can hat.
Oh yeah, no, they already had those.
Okay,
They're so ahead of their time.
That's great.
Vikings actually created Spencer's gift.
Holds up.
So I don't know. It was like rolling. It was like someone was a dungeon master and said, "Your stupid picture on your hat gives you +5 defense." Now go into battle thinking that. Never see you again, Steve. Sven. So there was, like I said, there were worse fighters. A group of men called the Berserks.
Oh, I know about this too.
You do? What do you know?
They were like 0 armor.
Yep, they were naked.
Uh-huh.
And they not only were naked, so already going into battle pretty vulnerable, they went berserker mode. They went like, they called them wild dogs, basically. They were the first to run out and like tear shit up, and which is terrifying if you're like a civilized army on the other side. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like they're just wearing helmets and they're completely naked, and they would like bite their own shields.
Wouldn't they, or did I romanticize this in my head that they were also like covered in like war paint?
Probably.
Yeah.
I didn't read it, but probably. I mean, Mel Gibson's version of this movie.
Oh yeah, Mel Gibson's dick was everywhere in this movie.
Yeah, 1993, The Berserks. He won 4 Academy Awards. But they, even though they were pretty insane, they like served for kings and stuff. He was like, yeah, these are my bodyguards.
You know that's where Wolverine gets his like berserker rage sort of like catchphrase.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like Wolverine, they kind of roamed around, even though they were bodyguards for the king, on their free time, just looking for trouble, just looking to get in a fight with anyone. Just a bunch of naked guys come walking at you.
But also like Wolverine, when they weren't like being a berserker, were they like really into musical theater?
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anywhere in the books, but how could you not? Those two things go well. Violent, naked rage, and Chicago, the musical. Yeah, they were a nightmare. But did you know that Thor's hammer was a fashion piece?
What? No, I did not.
It was a pendant that a lot of people wore. One of the
Oh.
only things found for archaeological.
Yes, I did know this.
Oh, you did?
Because I thought you were going to tell me that Thor's hammer that Thor wields to Thor is a fashion piece. Like he doesn't use it to battle. He doesn't like, it's like, no, this is my clutch. I battle with this sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm familiar because that's something that's kind of popular to this day with people who are into Norse mythology or feel like they have that heritage. Is like they're like, oh yeah, I want to wear this hammer necklace that's like a reproduction of what they used to find.
Yeah, they found a lot of them in men and women, so that's pretty cool. They were buried with them. And the Vikings. You've heard of Viking funerals?
Yeah, with like the boat and the.
I've always asked you for one. I know you've heard of it.
The boat and the archery.
So that's like, yeah, for a great warrior, send them out and set that on fire. And they did have big funeral pyres. They also just buried people.
Okay.
Or like put them in earth and threw a slab of stone on top, which is what I would do the lazy way.
I mean, you got to think that like a lot of where they were living was very cold, and so
it's hard to bury. Yeah,
it'd be like a 2-foot deep grave, and then they would like
just put a big fucking rock on it.
Yeah,
like that'll do. But
you've tried several accents for them. That'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. Thor, pig in the city. They would let you know how they felt about you, but after death, it would be pretty apparent. So some people were found buried face down, which was like, fuck that guy. Other people were found decapitated in the grave, but with their head between their own legs.
Whoa, that's shady as hell.
And some people were decapitated because they were such giant twats in life that they thought if you didn't decapitate this person, they'd become an evil spirit.
Oh, okay.
So like Mark died, and Mark was a piece of shit, and you're like, oh, I don't want to see that motherfucker again. So you cut his head off.
Wait, how do you
after he's dead?
How do you know this guy Mark from my life who was a piece of shit?
Because I've told you how I want to be buried, and you've told me how Mark's going to be buried.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. So
cut off his dick, put it in his mouth, sew up his mouth. Cut off his head, put it in his butt, sew up his butt.
Wait, is that my funeral again?
That's yours again.
That's if you were planning for me. Yeah. But if the Kardashians were Vikings, and they would have probably preferred the bog burial because there were bogs.
Why would the Kardashians prefer this?
Because it's how all of these bodies have been preserved.
Oh.
So they can still look good.
Okay.
Yeah, they found a lot of, the ultimate filler is bog juice.
Okay.
Just found put together bodies hanging out in some boggies.
So they just sort of sunk people into the bog, and they would find, like, archaeologists find them.
It said they were buried in bogs. So I don't even know how you bury someone in a bog.
Buried in bogs?
Bird of bogs. I heard it.
Okay.
Bird of bogs.
I love their every flavor of jelly beans.
Do you have any questions up to this point?
I guess they've kind of come up. No, nothing serious.
Okay, let me know if you have any life-threatening questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get to the next part. You guys, I'm gonna take a picture of the notes I took, and you guys are gonna fucking scream.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lend you my iPad so it can be less chaotic.
But I learned by writing out. I know it's okay. So, you know about the tree.
I know that there was a tree of life.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Shit. Because I just listened to pronunciation.
Is it like
Yggdrasil? Yggdrasil.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so Yggdrasil. For those of you that are new to Norse mythology, I'm going to put up a picture for you because you can't just listen. You can't just listen to this. You have to see a picture of what it is. It's a little bit of a nightmare the way that they have their world set up.
Go on.
Okay.
What do you mean?
So there is a giant tree of life.
Mm-hmm.
The setting, tree of life, that is holding all 9 worlds together.
Oh, there's 9 worlds.
There's 9 realms.
Okay.
It looks like there's actually only 3 spherical planets, but there's at least, they call it 9 worlds.
I'm sort of Chelsea, who's been a guest on this podcast. I'm imagining all of like the circle chakras that are like in a line for yoga.
Yeah.
Is that how the 9 worlds are
It's
laid out?
absolutely not.
Okay.
So let me show you this picture that I brought out, and I will post this online. So here's the tree of life.
Oh, Sarah, don't post that headshot of you online.
And oh god, I'm actually gonna post new headshots tomorrow. So the Yggdrasil has 3 roots,
Okay.
as you see. And then you see the bridge between the world is this rainbow.
Oh.
The rainbow bridge.
Do they borrow Iris, goddess of the rainbow?
No. Homegirl doesn't have a job because there's another dude.
Oh, there's a
that.
rainbow dude. Oh, yeah, and he's in the Thor movie too.
Basically, it's Idris Elba.
Okay, yeah.
And when we are learning about him, we will always call him Idris Elba because he should be every Rainbow Bridge god.
Okay.
Okay, so it holds these worlds together, and it has with its 3 roots. Now, one root goes down to Niflheim, the underworld.
Okay.
That's where your girl Hel's hanging out.
Okay.
One goes into Asgard, the warrior gods' land, and one goes into. Oh fuck! I just looked up this pronunciation. Jotunheim? No, Jotunheim.
Jotunheim.
Jake, is that right? You listen to it too. Jotunheim. Fuck. Sorry if it's wrong. Land of the giants.
Okay.
So the giants are the big heavy in this setting as well. That's just important to know.
Mm-hmm.
They're and what I'm not clear on, and I'll try to get clear on before next week, is I can't tell if there's an actual size difference between the giants and the gods from all the stories I've listened to. Like sometimes they're getting married, so I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, if it's anything like Greek, like
Titans and gods were the same thing, sort of, right?
Yeah, they could change their size at
right.
will.
Yeah. So Land of the Giants.
Like if those 2 giants who tried to storm Mount Olympus wanted Hera and Artemis as their wives, and they were completely different sizes, I don't know what they expected to have happen in the bedroom.
Yeah. It could be messy. So we in our 9 worlds we have Alfheim, the home of the light elves.
Okay.
Our Legolosses, if you will. Vanheim, home of the fertility gods.
Oh, that just sounds like a sexy place.
Oh my god, it's just like the perfect lighting. Asgard, home of the warrior gods, aka the Aesir. That's what they're called.
Okay.
The Bifrost is the rainbow bridge. Midgard is the human world. That's where us feeble beings live.
Is it also Bifrost Awareness Week?
Okay. Yeah, because you did just learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
So officially is. And so in that tier 2, like Asgard and Alfheim and Vanaheim, which was the fertility gods, they're like the first tier from the root. Then the Rainbow Bridge will take you down to the next tier.
Anaheim.
Midgard.
Okay.
And Jotunheim.
Okay.
Jotunheim, land of the giants. And Svartenheim, which is the dark elves.
Oh, yeah. And that's what in the Marvel movies Loki is.
Yes. And then the last tier that the route goes down is obviously Nilfheim, and Muspel is basically hell. Like a fire land.
And which one is Earth? Like where do the Viking...
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the second tier. That is Midgard.
Oh, Midgard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in Midgard, around the realms on that same tier are the like the shitty elves and the giant.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes they call the dark elves dwarves.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
they there's a little bit of terminology that jumps around. Also, in Nilfheim, they say there's a dragon down there, but then I've also read it's the serpent that's around the world.
Okay.
So you can call it a dragon or a serpent. I think it's interchangeable.
Mm-hmm. Just a big worm.
Yeah, a big ol' asshole.
Uh-huh.
Squeezing the life So, important thing, as you all know, I love my animal friends.
Yes.
Well, this tree of life has got them.
Yeah.
Okay. We got an eagle.
Tree of life has everything. Eagles.
Squirrels.
Squirrels.
Dragon serpents.
Those things that you're not sure if they're a dragon or a serpent.
And a little dwarf eating out of a trash can. That's always a Stefan thing, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So
is there a little dwarf eating out of a trash can in the Tree of Life?
I'm sure we'll get to one of the stories. Oh, there's some nasty shit with dwarves. I can't. You gotta wait. Just buckle up, guys. So, on the top of the Tree of Life, we have this eagle, and he hangs out on the branches. Then we have the dragon, and his name is Nidhogg.
Uh-huh.
Below.
Oh. So there's that video game that is like on PlayStation Arcade called Nidhogg. And when you win, this big serpent thing eats you. So now I know.
Oh, no. You know what? Nidhogg is just a dragon. And then Jormungand is the coiled snake. So they are different.
Okay.
Yeah. So Midgard, our world, is seen as a sphere of land with ocean around it. And it's where the humans chill. And in the ocean is the evil serpent. Jormungand.
Okay.
Because J's are Y's here.
No, Jormungand.
Jormungand. He's coiled around the world.
Uh-huh.
So this dragon and this eagle, they do not get along.
Okay. That's fair.
The dragon is always chewing on the roots of the tree because he wants it to die. He's a little asshole.
So the dragon wants death to everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's down there gnawing on the roots, trying to fuck it up. And another thing he does with our squirrel friend who runs up and down the tree is he runs back and forth delivering shit-talking messages between the dragon and the eagle.
Do you think he makes it up? Like
there's like a little bit,
there's
right?
like less beef between them than like because like it's probably a big tree.
Yeah.
So
well, and also think about the game of telephone. Like
yeah,
you know, it's a huge tree, so he's probably forgetting.
The dragon says you suck, purple monkey dishwasher.
So the eagle's just like, I'm not affected by this. All right. And at the base of the roots, we have a bubbling spring that is the source of all wisdom.
Oh, okay.
And Odin's going to go hang out by that in a couple episodes. So you find out about that. And then on the outside of the Tree of Life, we have a deer that eats the branches. And from his antlers...
Is it a big deer?
It's a huge deer. And
okay.
Here's why. From his antlers flow all the rivers of the world.
Oh.
Yeah, this is like it's a hard thing to really imagine, right?
Yeah, it's very like did they have LSD back then?
No, honestly, it is drunken people telling a story, right? No. And from his antlers all the rivers of the world.
You're saying it's a deer, Sven?
He's a deer, and that's how the squirrel doesn't bother him.
Okay.
Oh, but more importantly, there's this goat that hangs out. He just grazes nearby the tree. He has nothing to do with it. But he's a beer goat.
He's a beer goat.
He's a beer goat. Probably she. All the mead for the gods to drink come out of this goat. There's infinite mead.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Oh, is that so? I'm gonna put some horns on my helmet because it'll make the gods like me because they like goats because they give them beer.
Yeah. Get naked. Grab a spear. Just go.
Okay.
Just fucking go.
I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
Grabbing my spear right now.
And the tree is beautiful. It's growing into the stars. So that's a little scene picture that you can't really make in your mind.
Yeah. So okay, it's growing into the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Are the stars part of the 9 realms, or are the stars like something else? Like it's like and all these realms are just sitting in a bed of stars with some arugula.
From the pictures I've looked at, they're their own thing. It's like the tree, which roots go down to the worlds, and they're growing up into the stars, and there's a bubbling pool somewhere, and then somehow deer are eating and grazing nearby.
Okay.
Drunk people made this stuff up, okay?
Great.
Yeah, and the giants, it was always giants versus gods and humans. And the gods are looking out for the humans, but the giants are like pretty much raging assholes.
So did the Viking people live in fear of one day giants will attack them?
Yeah, they must have.
Yeah.
Right? Like, or it was, all of this was their explanation of how stuff happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's freezing because the frost giants, which are a huge thing. The frost giants are so angry.
Okay.
Yeah. But to there was a pre-existingness. There was a pre-Big Bang moment here in Norse mythology.
Oh, the call of the Big Bang? They were
No,
advanced.
no. It's called
So advanced, Sarah.
It's called the yawning, actually.
Oh, okay.
And there's a
Sounds a little boring.
Ginogapa.
What are you telling me to do?
Ginnongagap. Ginogagap.
Okay.
AKA the yawning. We're gonna go with the yawning. And that was between. There's always a land of fire, the Muspel, and the land of ice, Niflheim. Okay, and the yawning was this distance, the space between it. And when the lands came together, they did have that kind of Big Bang, right? They created a giant,
A singular giant.
one giant. Name.
Was it a deer? No, it's a human.
There is an animal involved.
Oh.
Ymir is the giant and his cow. So a giant and a cow was made from the Big Bang.
They made Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, pretty much. And the cow's name was Adamula.
Oh.
Okay, and then a bunch of frost giants came off of Ymir's body. He kind of shed them, and we're gonna get more into the giants and all of that next week.
No, I get that, because like sometimes you use a loofah and you're just like, oh, I'm creating a world.
I'm creating a whole world down there. Yeah. And the only other important thing, as we sort of scene paint this bizarre, hard to grasp, please look up the pictures either online or on our Instagram world, is to know that in all of these stories, Ragnarok, it's an always has been known, always was going to come into the world thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when all of the warriors fell in battle. They went to Valhalla, and they went to just kind of eat and party until Ragnarok, the end of times, was to come, and they were going to get called up again. And we'll have more on that, of course, later, but that's an important thing to know.
And Ragnarok, of course, is when the frost giants fall out of power, global warming occurs, and our world dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so feel free to watch all the Thor movies. They will spoil nothing about Norse mythology, especially Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It does make that. There was a weird part with snow at the end, right? It'll give you some context there.
I'm like the worst comic book nerd, because I did not see. I saw the first Thor. I did not see the second Thor. And
you fell asleep next to me in the movie theater for the Thor Ragnarok, right?
I fell asleep watching Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And then I watched it again on Netflix, and I still don't even really remember it. And people are like, "Oh, it's like the best one," and I'm like, it felt really long to me. No. So I'm, if you want to just tell me I'm wrong, that's fine. I've heard it before.
Boo!
Whoa. A frost giant just booed me. A
frost giant just fell off my back. So yeah, we exist on Midgard, and one day we will all go to hell. Hell.
Is that your in summary?
In summary, yeah. Guys, if there's anything that you think I left out about this amazing tree, let me know. But until then, let's take that Bifrost Rainbow Bridge into Norse mythology together.
Aw, what a Did you write that or did you just have it in your head?
I just did it right now.
That's a lovely thought.
Oh, thank you. And I'm very sorry.
You're a beautiful Idris Elba.
Oh, God, what a compliment. Never in my life will I be so beautiful. But yeah, that's a little back history on Vikings and why they created such drunken, insane premise. But once you get into the world, it's really fun. And it's inherently funny. So it's going to be great for this.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And Sarah, you confided in me that you were a little bit nervous about taking the reins. And
Yeah.
I think you did a really wonderful job.
Oh, thank you very much. I butchered all the pronunciation and they will come for me on Twitter. But
If you're listening at home, please take this moment to clap for Sarah in her debut.
oh, guys.
Clap that ass.
How do you like being on the other side of the couch, baby?
Oh God, there's like zero pressure. It's
yeah,
wonderful.
right? Yeah. So that's our first episode. Next week we're gonna get into our cast of characters. And then we're going to jump right into it. And honestly, it's not going to be that long with Norse mythology. There's the ones that are recorded, like I said, and then bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that Greek mythology is the titan that it is because there's so much left over. And I feel like Norse and if we any of the other mythologies that we do are going to be smaller chapters.
There's one myth that I have had such a hard time not talking to Paul about, and I know I have to save it for later, but oh my God.
Well, now people are on the edge of their seat.
I know, and then have to remain there. So stay tuned. Bum, 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 bum.
Hello, I am Crazy Jorgen, and have you ever wanted to bury your most hated enemies in hilarious ways that everyone can enjoy, even the kids?
My Jorgen, will you help me with the problem?
Yes, what is it?
My goddamn brother, he slept with wife, and then he stole family home.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do for wonderful poetic justice. We are going to dress him up like a doll that lives in a dollhouse. We are going to bury him upside down in a hole, and we are going to tape little feathers to his feet, in which case, in the afterlife, he will always feel like he's being tickled, and he will do little dances for his humiliation.
Jorgen, this is perfect. He hates being tickled.
Perfect.
Oh, Jorgen?
Oh, yes, Yolanda.
Can you help me? My father just died, but I didn't like him.
Oh, you simply did not like him, you say? All right.
No, it's nothing against him. It just wasn't my type of father.
All right, here, take this fruit peeler.
Yeah.
We're going to peel both of his eyeballs.
Oh my God, that's so good.
We're going to take his eyeballs. We're going to throw them away.
Wow.
Then we are going to chop off his ears, put them in his armpits, and make him sit like a duck in his grave.
Oh wow, now that I have mutilated my father, I have regrets.
Well, you should have thought about that before you came to Crazy Jorgen's burial services.
Jorgen's burial.
Thanks, hype man.
Hey, Jorgen?
What? Don't bother me. I'm doing a commercial, little boy.
Jorgen?
What?
My poor little puppy died.
Oh, did you dislike this puppy?
No, I love him very much. Will you help me bury in a nice way?
Oh, I've never done that before. Okay, here what we're going to do. We're going to chop off your head. We're going to put your puppy in your skull.
Oh.
We're going to sew your head back to your body and then bury you alive. I think you'll still be alive after doing that.
Everything that's so special.
It's what I do.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for bearing with me on my first episode that I have led the lead.
You did lead the lad.
Yeah. Please, as always, follow us on social media.
Wow.
Follow us on social media and visit our shop. Get a fancy shirt while we still got them, because guess what? Paul's changing up the design.
Oh, spoiling it, but
Oh, fuck.
no, that's okay. I mean, we changed the song. We're going to change the design to match our new Norse attitude. So yeah, be sure to check that out at our shop. You can always find us at _mythunderstood on social media. You can find our podcast Daddy Network at It's Dragon Wagon on social media. Be sure to follow that. Follow Sarah at the Sarah Oliver, and follow me at the Paul Bianchi.
I will follow you
Wherever.
your Instagram.
Okay, great. Also, please remember to continue to rate and review us. It helps people find our podcast, and especially now that we are covering more mythology. If people were like, hey, I really don't like Greek mythology, I hate it, I spit in its general direction. Well, thank goodness we're covering other mythologies, because you can listen to that.
And yeah, as we mentioned earlier, please check out our Patreon, because we are a little indie network. So let's keep doing this.
Yes, let's.
Night, night.
Hi, my name is Michael Foster, and I've been a cover model on over 800 romance novels, with titles like Captivated by the Captain, The Caress of a Commander, and The Highlander's Secret Baby. Yeah, stuff like that. But I'm not just a pretty face. I happen to be a literature major and a former high school English teacher. So it's time I put my brain where my brawn is to see if the books I'm on have literary muscles of their own. So I do hope you'll join me on this epic and romantic podcast adventure. Check out judgeabookpod.com. Follow Judge a Book Pod on all social media, and most important, hit subscribe in whatever app you're listening to so you don't miss an episode of Judge a Book by its cover model.
It's Dragon Wagon.